So, Jan, hi.
Hi, Patty.
I wanted to do this. I wanted to meet with you today because next week on, I believe it's a Wednesday, is that correct?
That's right.
The 28th of March, 2018. Can't believe it's 2018 already.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Patty,
Um,
I looked at my notes the last time I taught at this class at the UP Hypnosis Institute was the 28th of March of 2008.
are you serious?
Yes. Yes.
10 years ago. That's
Yes.
so funny you said that because my brain was just getting ready to ask you. I was thinking I should ask her when's the last time, because I know that's the last time I saw you do it, I'm sure, probably.
I've done it at HEA, but
Yeah,
at
does
at
this
Up
education.
High,
Yeah.
I looked at that and I went,
Wow,
"Oh, this
10
is
years.
just serendipity.
Woohoo!
Wonderful."
Oh, I know I've seen you do it a couple times at least, and to me it is just such a phenomenal, simple technique. But what I really thought would be interesting, and what I would like to hear a little bit more about, because I know just a tiny bit that I recall from the background of it, but about you had an uncle who was a hypnotist, is that correct,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So can you just kind of give us the little quick history of how this all came about for you?
Well, my uncle David Seegers was a hypnotist, but in 1988, I visited my dad during the summer from when I was living in Puerto Rico, and he said, "Your uncle's coming," and I was so excited because he had taught us things before that. My dad would have those dreams where he couldn't find the keys to his car or couldn't find the car, and he helped him overcome that. So he always taught us something. So that summer of 1988, I was so glad that he was coming to visit. And my dad told me before he got there, he said, he's got something he wants to teach us. He's shared a little bit with me, but I don't really get it. And so when Uncle David got there and we all got settled, he said, "All right, let's go into the living room and have a little talk." And he started telling us this story, and I just went, "What?" So in his practice, Patty, you probably know, I believe it's called the Siegel eye roll or eye
Yes.
movement.
Yes.
He said that he would have his clients, they would be sitting there and he would get them relaxed and have them roll their eyes up. And as they're doing that, before he even started going through any kind of process with them, he would just see a change happen on their bodies, on their faces,
Just from the eye roll.
just from the eye roll. So he kept saying, "What's going on? What is this all about?" So he kept thinking about it and he would watch his clients. And as they made little changes, he said, "I'm going to introduce something that will help them." Also, at the time, he was reading some studies about the brain. And some study done, he thought it was in California. My 88 was a long time ago. So just trying to remember back, he was thinking that he read a study that they put these mice through a little process and they would kind of introduce a shock for them, and they saw grooves created in their brain
Mm.
so that when they received that little shock, they responded in a particular way. And so
Interesting.
he's thinking, what's going on with the brain? Do we have grooves? So he started creating his groove theory that we get information put into our brains. And so then with the eye roll, he said, how can I tie these two together? And he started actually having his clients think about what was bothering them. At the time, also in the 80s, you'll remember the studies about left brain, right brain, and how information is stored. And so he had them have a picture in their minds, and he had them have words in their mind. And because he grew up with a blackboard, was probably actually black. I went to school, I think, with a green board, and of course now they're whiteboards and smart boards. And he would have them use this board where they would put their information on the board. And when he had them roll their eyes and erase, he called it erasing, whoosh, it was like it was lifted from them. And this
Hmm.
is what he taught us in 1988. My dad's living room, and I was excited. And I said, whoa, what can I do? I needed a test. I didn't need proof because I knew that he was bringing something wonderful. So what could I do? So when I went to bed that night, I was thinking that my brother and his family were coming over the next day, and he's older, and he just, he would bug me and give me
Family.
we love our family, but
Family's good test subjects.
So his name is Bob. So when I got into bed, I saw his face giving me a hard time, and I wrote in big giant letters, B-O-B. And when I did that and I rolled my eyes, there was this whoosh. It was like a zap. It just went zzz.
Wow.
And I said, oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't see a blackboard. I didn't see a green board. I didn't see chalk or any of that. And so he and his family came over the next day, and I thought we had a great time. The kids played, my daughter and their kids, and they went home. They came back the next day, and my sister-in-law came running into the house. I mean, she was just on a path to find me, and she said, Jan, Bob wants to apologize. And I said, apologize for what? For what he said. I said, what did he say? And she looked at me like, you don't know what he said? I said, I haven't a clue. And to this day, I do not have a clue.
Wow.
It took the emotional stress and neutralized it. And so that's what I've been teaching people since I learned to do it. Went home used it on my daughter with mosquito bites that summer, and I got rid of fibromyalgia that summer using it, and went back to Puerto Rico and started teaching people and using it.
So all of that time since 1988, at what point were you the one that actually gave it the name, see it, say it, zap it?
Yes, because
my
uncle called it erasing, because it was a board, and erase that chalkboard. Well, I never
want to carry a board around with you all the time.
Yeah. Well, he actually kept one for his own erasing because he said visually he couldn't do it. But we all know that whether you see it or just think it, it's there. Like the bowl in the red bowl in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Very nice.
So he got me so excited about it, and I used it on so many different things, and it just helped. And so I said, well, this is great, and just kept sharing it with people. And I am actually writing a book about how I used it with my own health. And I have
are there like creations that you've
visualizations, and combining the eye roll with visualizations. The California raisins were popular, so I brought them in, and I'm actually thinking of bringing them back. I'm having issues with my thumb, and I'm like, I need those California raisins to come in and saw away this little thing that's growing in my thumb. And so I've been doing that, and just
California raisins.
The California raisins.
Well, we don't want to give all your secrets away, because we want you to save some for the class. But I think I remember hearing something about that all those years ago, but I can't for the life of me right now remember how that fit into this whole process.
Well, it was very interesting. They were on TV and they appeared in my mind, and using my clients have taught me so many ways to use the technique with their creative visualization. So but for me, when Bob just went zap, I said, okay, and it's a left and right brain. You see it and you say it, and then you
wow. And it zaps it.
Yes. And it creates a neutral feeling. You don't have to feel that pressure or that stress anymore.
That's wonderful. And when you explain something that sounds that simple, a lot of people out there would just say, how can it be that easy?
Well, that's not that easy. You have to know the names of the grooves. And that's what people come to me for, is like, okay, you tell me this technique, it's very simple, but what do I do it for?
Yeah.
I taught the women on the way at St. Pete College in Clearwater. These are women, non-traditional students. And I would teach a group on Tuesday and come back and teach the Wednesday group. And when I walked in for the Wednesday group, one of the Tuesday women saw me and she goes, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it." I said, so then I just sat there and I worked with her. So that's the tricky part, is figuring out what it is you want to put on that board.
And what did you call it a minute ago? What do you call that? The word?
The zapping?
I thought you had a name for the word that you said a name a little while ago of the thing. And I'm trying to think of what you used, a word that I'm not coming. I'll have to watch this.
Well, the groove. You mean the groove?
The groove.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing that's sticking in your brain that you just get triggered like that. You know, we all have, you can call it a trigger. You can call, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's literally your brain thing, right?
Yeah.
You're saying it's actually a groove in the brain.
It's a groove in the brain. You
got to know what it's called in order to
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Patty. I have talked to eye doctors, eye surgeons. I've talked to scientists, and it's a physiological change that happens in the brain doing this technique.
Wow.
Actually, physiologically is happening. And my uncle knew it, but he didn't. He put the word endorphin on it, but it's more than that.
It's more than that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and isn't it wonderful that there are people adventurous enough, like your uncle, you know, that can do things before they have to have some kind of, you know, science behind it to start. It's almost like it goes the other way. It's like that. I know that's how I got into this field. I did things, and I didn't know how I did them, and so I started looking for answers to how did I even have that awareness enough, or I don't know, creativity or curiosity or whatever you want to call it, to come up with something. And I guess it just comes from inside of what we know is that, I call it the unlimited mind, that wonderful unconscious or subconscious.
You are so right. You are so on. It is unlimited.
And that's what your uncle must have had, that intuition. That's where that comes from. Mm-hmm. This is something very special.
In my book that I'm writing, my novel based on my life and experiences, I have an angel come to him and give him this gift. And
that's kind of what it is, isn't it?
It is. And it's a gift, and I want to keep on giving it.
And it's still being given. That's the nice thing.
Yes.
You know, it never, you keep spreading it out, and he did for you and many other people, and now you are, and I hear about it, and I'm going to bring you to, I guess I should say, UP Hypnosis Institute is where you're coming on Wednesday, the 28th of March. 2018. We're doing this little short notice, but I'm going to try to get this out there hopefully I am going to get this out there. There is no try.
No try.
And we're going to hopefully get some people there, because I know the nuances, you know, just to hear you describe it sounds simple, but like you said, it's the nuances of how you do it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It seems simple, but it's.
So when people come to this class, what can they expect to experience?
Well, first I'll give them some background, like a little bit more than I've just given you and that we're talking about here. And then I'm going to take them through the process of how to dig deep to get the information that will help the client. And I have a little log that I record information on, and I teach the client how to do it and send the client home with what I heard and encourage the client to continue working on it. And what I absolutely love, Patty, is when my clients come back and I look at my list of things that we had talked about that were concerns, right? Oh, that's not even an issue, they tell me.
Wow. It's already just kind of poof.
Exactly.
It's zapped
away.
That's amazing. Isn't it nice that the mind and the brain and the body and all that can do those kind of things?
It's amazing what the brain can do.
So you're going to help people that are actually practitioners and I would imagine this could be used by coaches and not necessarily just hypnotherapists.
Oh, anyone who's working to help someone that wants to get through a block of any kind. It just eliminates.
What a wonderful thing to learn how to do. And then now if somebody is not if it's someone who doesn't actually work with clients, you know, that just wants to learn it for themselves.
Absolutely.
Will they be able to follow?
I have a handout for everybody, so they'll be able to do it at home. And they can always call me if it's like, I've got this thing and I don't know what to do and how to say it or see it.
You can help coach them through how to get through it. And now that we have a Zoom, now that we have this kind of format,
Yes.
you know, it really is opening up even more
Right.
possibilities. And I love that word, you know. So
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. I just love the story behind it. I'm glad you said you're going to give us even some more background about it. And also, I love hearing about just the examples of ways that you've used it and that some of the people you've worked
Yes.
with through the years have used it as well. So, oh, I'm so excited. I'm
And
really
I have lots of stories, lots of examples, and I have some testimonials on my website about it as well.
wonderful. And just so anybody who might see this that wants to come, if you are belong to any organization as a neurolinguistic programmer or as a hypnotist, that you can get continuing education by taking this class. And it's the 28th again of March 2018. It's from 6:30 to, I forget what
9.
time it ends. Is it 9 or 8?
No, 8.
I think it's 8, yeah.
It's like an
Is that
hour
going to be
and a
enough
half.
time for you? I know sometimes people don't let us leave, so they might get into it so much you might do it.
You never know, right? And UP Hypnosis Institute, everyone, is fabulous. Patty is
And
such
it's in
a
Tarpon
beacon of light
Springs.
for all of us.
I paid her to say that.
No.
And I'm going to have fun because I get to enjoy just being out there watching and participating and gaining even some more, you know, reminding me about this and getting some more ways to use it, hopefully.
I taught some teachers the technique recently, and it was interesting to watch them and get some feedback. So I've got a lot of stories that I can share.
Oh, that's great. So great. So we'll put this out there and hopefully get some people in the room and have lots of fun, because it's always fun when you start reprogramming and realizing how your mind will actually give you what's good for you, right?
Yes. Those changes, those pathways just change in the brain.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good just talking to you, you know, and that's part of it too, isn't it? It's part of just being around all that positive energy. And then when you just, the simple things that now, like you said, there's science behind it now, that we know that when the eyes do certain things, there are certain changes happening in the brain.
They're connected to the vagus nerve. If you start studying the vagus nerve, you're going to find
that's another one I'd like to bring you
wonderful information about.
Because you did that at the Hypnosis Education Association, I think it was last year or the year before, and that was fascinating. I found that really fascinating. So, and that's connected with this too, I guess.
Oh yes, oh yeah.
Okay, well maybe we can squeeze a little of that into the.
I'll talk about the vagus nerve too. That's for sure.
Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. I just this wasn't too long. I haven't been timing it, but we'll put some things out there and hopefully get some people over there. It's in Tarpon Springs at UP Hypnosis Institute. The website's uphypnosis.com. You can sign up on there, or you can sign up that evening. Just come that evening and enroll if you do try to come a few minutes early. But hopefully we'll get a few people there and have a lot of fun and learn some really cool ways to get what we want.
Exactly, and feel good about it.
Oh yeah, that always feels good, especially when you know it came from within yourself, right?
Yes.
Because then you've got it to use for everything else too.
Absolutely.
And with your help, and people can call to get coaching to get better and better at it.
Sure.
You can always get better. And then, you know, for other things down the line, people will have the beginning of what can help them with all kinds of things in their lives.
Exactly.
Like finishing my book. Can you help me with that?
You know I can.
How many years has it been? So maybe you can help me finally with that kind of thing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, Jan, so much. I guess we can finish now.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me on.